The dawn of civilization. Primitive. Dangerous. Exciting. The handwriting is on the wall. If the human race is ever going to amount to anything, it needs
the most civilized caveman I have ever seen.
Look who's come out of his cave.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today. We have Corey from Graveripper, and my co-host Brendan is here with me as usual. Thanks, Corey, for coming on the show. It's great to have you on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, do you want to just tell us a little bit quickly, for anyone who doesn't know your band, just a bit about what Graveripper is and what you guys do?
Yeah, so I'm in a band called Graveripper. We are a black metal influenced thrash band from Indianapolis, Indiana. Well, I mean, I'm from Indy. The other members are scattered around the whole state. But yeah, we play thrash metal, kind of in the vein of some of the German thrash stuff with a bit of black metal influence, kind of in that Toxic Holocausty route, but not so much in a lot of the times you think of black thrash, you think of a very particular, really fast D-beat Celtic Frost kind of stuff. A lot of punk in there. We're definitely influenced by all that, but we don't have as much of the punk attitude as a lot of these bands do. I think we're more of a refined thrash band with black metal riffing in there. So that's why I say black influenced thrash. That's our black thrash. So we've put out 2 EPs under Graveripper, and we're putting out a split this year. Always writing, always working on stuff. We're getting out of Indiana. We got some shows coming up. Got some in Illinois, doing a festival called Full Terror Assault, and then we got a string of shows that hasn't been announced yet, and then we're coming to LA and making our California debut this November. So that's what we do. That's about it.
Awesome. I mean, that's a lot, but awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start off with talking about the upcoming split. I know that you're on that with 3 other bands. Who have you got that one with?
Like who's the split through?
Well, I know you're through Wise Blood Records, obviously, because we're close with Sean. He's a great guy, and he's done great by you guys. Obviously, gotten your name out there, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And then I know that you're with Wraith. You've also got Black Knife, who actually interviewing next week as well. They're going to come on the show too, which is awesome.
Nice.
And then with a Russian band as well. So that was the rogue band.
Yep, totally. They rip.
Yeah, they're the only one I didn't actually know. So it was pretty sweet to hear them for the first time.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. You have to ask if you talk to. I think are you gonna be talking to Josh next week with Black Knife?
They haven't told us which member it is. They just said that someone's going to come on. So is Josh the one that normally does the press media stuff?
I don't know. Josh is the one I've communicated with the most, so I'd say yes.
Okay.
He did a lot of the communication with Unholy Night, and while we were putting this whole thing together, the situation with Ukraine and Russia started, so that kind of got weird. So you'll have to ask him about that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely ask about that. Because I was curious about that when I saw it was with a Russian bank, because I know things have gotten really complicated with, obviously them receiving funds from any album sales or even communicating in some circumstances through social and stuff like that. So
yeah, totally.
Shut them out.
Yeah. So definitely I'll ask about that. But absolutely killer split. For anyone who hasn't heard it yet, it's not out yet. It comes out September, right?
Yeah, September 2nd. You'll have CD and cassette will be available, and then I don't have the definitive date on vinyl, but vinyls will be coming out soon after that.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. I will be picking that up.
Nice.
Did you pre-order it? Hope you pre-ordered it.
Oh, I haven't. I didn't even see the vinyl was available. Oh, there it is. Okay, and it's sold out. Okay, I'll have to wait.
It sold out so fast.
Wow. Okay, I missed that one. Damn.
I slept on that. I oh man. I'm looking at that too. I'm like, shoot.
Is that Wise Blood's first vinyl? Because they normally do cassette and CD releases.
I want to say it might be. I know that Blasted Heath, one of the newest like black thrash bands that Sean has on the label. I think they're doing a 7-inch or something. I saw a post he made that it was like a surprise. We have their their release on vinyl.
Okay.
So if that's true, then that record's the first one on vinyl, and then ours would be the next released, and then I'm fairly certain the Mother of Graves full length is going to come out on vinyl also.
Oh, that's
That's
also
cool.
So to answer
Yeah.
your question, no, I think we're the second, technically, just by a hair.
That's still
behind
pretty
Plastic
sweet.
Beast.
You guys are
Yeah.
starting
Semantics.
first wave
Totally.
of vinyl from Wise Blood. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's really
yeah,
sweet.
it's really cool. That's another bucket list item achieved for me, is to have music out on vinyl. So
Yeah.
that's dope.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys are awesome.
Thanks, dude.
Sick sound.
Okay, and let's go back a little bit and talk about Radiated Remains, because that's actually the album that introduced me to you guys.
Yeah, that's the record that I think tipped a lot of people off about us. Yeah, what do you
Yeah.
want to talk about on it?
I heard that you
We
worked
did your
with Joel Grind. That's true?
Yeah, Joel mastered it for us. Did a
Man,
great
that
job.
is awesome. I'm an
Yeah, dude.
absolutely huge Toxic Holocaust fan, by the way. So
Yeah,
Um,
you're not alone.
yeah, I love them, dude. I just caught them live for the first time actually, a few months back,
that's
and
great.
it was fantastic.
Oh, really? Nice. I still haven't caught them live.
Every
Shame
time I
on
was
me.
going to see them, something came up, or I was out of town when they played, or it's just one of those bands that I was always missed. So
Yeah,
it's great to finally see them.
totally. I'm gonna have to catch them soon myself.
So how did you come into contact with Joel?
So we just figured out that he does mixing and mastering.
Mhm.
I can't remember exactly how I figured that out. Either it was on his website or a social media profile, but saw that he did audio engineering, mixing and mastering. We wanted to, we wanted to put a notable name associated with thrash metal on the record somehow.
Mhm.
So getting him to master it was the way to do that. So he just, his contact information is on his professional business website, or his business site, I guess, or whatever his mixing and mastering site is, which just might be like joelgrind.com or something. I don't remember. But yeah, just his information's on there. Just shot him an email. We bounced some ideas back and forth, like what, do you want to do the mixing and mastering? Do you just want to mix? Do you just want to master? And weigh the pros and cons on that. And we eventually just settled on mastering it. Yeah, it was great. He knocked it out in like a weekend, if
Wow.
that. It's only the Radiated Remains tracks, the ones that we recorded exclusively for that EP, is only like 6 tracks, and the
Mhm.
first one's 30 seconds. So
Right.
yeah, he knocked it out pretty quick, but there wasn't like too much there. But yeah, that was pretty much how we got in contact with him, just over email, and yeah.
That's
About it.
awesome, man. He definitely, his name definitely carries some clout, so it's like it's great to have
Oh,
it
yeah,
attached to your album.
Works with
Yeah,
great
yeah.
bands.
Yep, yeah, totally. All the above. That's why we wanted to have his name on that. So that was pretty cool.
There's a few of those like legendary dudes that have just been killing it with mastering and mixing stuff outside of their own bands. Like I know I always blank on his name. The guitarist from Conan does a lot of mixing and mastering for like doom bands.
Oh, does he?
Sludge stuff. Yeah. And then Dan Swano is just prolific. I mean, that
Yeah.
guy has worked on, I don't even know how many projects and albums that dude's worked on.
Yeah, I mean, to bring it back, the Mother of Graves EP was Swano, and
Mhm.
then there's another local death metal band called Obscene. They fucking rip.
I love Obscene, dude. Obscene
Yeah,
are awesome.
their newest record, From Dead Horizon to Dead Horizon, was mastered by Swano. So
Was it? Okay, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
I'm almost kicking around the idea of having Swano do our master also, like for our next release.
Mhm.
But I don't want to I want to branch out too. I don't want to do what all the other bands in Indianapolis are doing. So
Okay.
I'm gonna have to find a way to one up them.
Yeah, I've heard his, like, the thing is, because people hear these big names and they assume, oh man, that's going to be way out of my price range. I can't work. It's a legend like that. But a lot of these dudes are charging super reasonable rates from what I've heard,
Yeah.
which is awesome to see.
Yeah, I mean, I think people probably get that name and the ego and the reputation preceding them in their heads. But at the end of the day, these guys are fucking normal dudes, and
Yeah.
rock stars. I mean, I can't really speak for people on that level, because when I'm talking about people like Grind and Swano, who I would consider like quote unquote, I know this is a dumb word, but like rock stars. or they have a bigger they're bigger in the metal scene is I
Mhm.
guess a different way, a better way of putting it. Even these bigger dudes in the metal scene aren't fucking millionaires, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so they're still they're average dudes is what I'm trying to say here. They're average dudes like you and me, and they're still trying to just, you know, do their thing. They're passionate about metal, so you know, what other ways do they, besides playing it, get themselves into it and stuff? You know, mixing and mastering seems to be a really popular way for these dudes to be doing it. But yeah, back to what you said about just these big prolific names doing this. Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, they're just doing their thing, I think is really what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like there's this funny thing about metal because I always have to remind myself of this, that someone who's big in the metal scene isn't necessarily big overall in the music scene, because
Yeah,
it's such a niche genre that it's like, you know,
yeah,
oh man, because I always think, man, they're an extreme metal legend. People must like love them and stuff. But like they are famous within their scene, but outside of like the death metal scene, no one has any idea
no,
who these
yeah,
people are.
right. Like I wouldn't know. I don't know shit about sports, right?
Mhm.
I'm cool to swear
Yeah.
on here, by the way, right? I just
Yeah, you're fine.
You're good. You're
like-
uncomfortable with it.
Like if I went to the, yeah, if I went to the grocery store and an Indianapolis Pacer was standing next to me, or hell, even two or three of the members, and they could be wearing Pacer gear, I wouldn't know who they are. But I don't know
Right.
shit about sports. I don't, you know, watch sports. So I think that's kind of the same thing. And you could
Mhm.
even argue that an athlete like that is probably bigger in the overall scheme of things, popularity wise, than somebody like Joel Grind or Dan Swano,
Right,
who's
exactly.
only known, you know. I mean, if I'm at the store and I'm a metalhead, yeah, of course I'm going to know where they are. But that's the same thing as going to the store,
As a
and you're a
sports fan.
Pacers fan. Yeah.
Mhm.
See, so yeah, and then I think also what I'm trying to say about the whole thing with them being millionaires is like, yeah, like when you look at other musicians, like it's I guess I'm trying to help me out here if you know what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
What you're
it's
saying
like,
is that like it's not the same as someone who's on that level of success in like the pop industry or that
Yeah,
level of
like
success in
Beyonce.
like the rap industry
Yeah.
or something.
exactly, or Drake or something like that. Like
Yeah.
it's like metal does not provide that sort of lifestyle.
Right.
You
And if
know,
it does,
so-
it's definitely not extreme metal. It's like stuff like Metallica. They're like one of the few
Yeah.
bands that blew up through the ceiling type
But
thing.
they've been doing it for 5,000 years also.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
So like,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's my exact point. So, you know, sometimes, dude, I mean, I'm not surprised because shit, I don't know much about touring. It's something I need to do and get out of my system. But I mean, the most money you're going to make on tour is from, you know, selling merch. But you've got to go to the shows. You got to get in the van. You got to live in the van. You got to deal with the hotel rooms. You got to play the shows every night. You're eating on the road. You know, it's equal parts awesome and like a lot of stress and a lot of things to deal with and very tiring and uncomfortable, when you could still be you can be doing that, or in the off time, especially once COVID hit, you know, and nobody could go on the road. Hey, maybe I will focus my attention of loving metal and loving recording and loving this whole thing. Let me focus my efforts elsewhere into the
Mhm.
mixing and mastering thing that I can still get paid to do, and people, you know, can bring their projects to me and I can bust a couple projects out for a couple $100.
Mhm.
You know, it's just another way of making money in the metal thing. But I'm not trying to say it's all about making money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I get it
but-
because I outside of this site, I run a PR business, like a small PR business.
Oh,
and
okay.
it's not, I don't make money from it. I do. I mean, yeah, I make enough to keep my costs covered and
Mhm.
maybe a little tiny bit on extra, but it's not about that. It's about wanting to like
Yeah.
help other people get their projects out there and something you enjoy doing. And you know,
Yeah, man.
I get it
It's-
fully.
It's
Being
totally
part of the
a
movement,
labor of
man.
love.
You're DIY, you know. You're not necessarily like playing, I mean, like an instrument or, you know, or being in a band, but you're still helping the community that way,
Exactly.
you know.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. You did it way better than me. Nice.
Okay, so you had one release before that, and then we've gone through the albums. It was a single. Was it a single or a demo? The Complete Blinding Darkness.
That was an EP.
That's an EP. Okay.
Yeah. So the first EP under the name Graveripper was Complete Blinding Darkness, and that was a 3-track EP we released digitally
Yeah.
only. And then we did like the Led Zeppelin Houses of the Holy thing, and we put out a song called Complete Blinding Darkness on Radiated Remains.
Okay.
Kind of like how Led Zeppelin had an album called Houses of the Holy, but there wasn't a song called Houses of the Holy. And then on their next record, they put out the song Houses of the Holy.
Yeah,
of course.
That's not where I got it from. I just did it. That's just like, okay.
Subconscious influence.
Maybe, man. Maybe.
So you said under the name Graveripper. Did you have a different band name prior to that?
Yeah, we did. It was it's kind of cheesy, and I'm really not a big fan of it. We were called Death Ensemble for a little while there. You can like find it on Metal Archives and stuff.
Okay.
And I couldn't come up with a band name, and I was kicking myself in the ass over it. So I just did the stupid, like, all right, I'll just go to a song and just like find some lyrics that aren't too bad. So I put on Slayer's War Ensemble, and like the first lyrics of that song featured the lyrics Death Ensemble. So I was like, I'll just go with this. But the more I heard the more I heard other people say it, the more I'm just like, fuck, I hate that band name. So yeah, then we just went back to the chopping block, and then I finally discovered the obvious trick of creating a band name is just to take two words that are already kind of metal and sounding and put them together. So that's how we got Graveripper.
Graveripper is a killer name, though.
Thanks.
Definitely a better name than Death Ensemble. I like it.
Yeah,
cool.
If it's like Death Ensemble's like the Slayer tribute band,
Yeah, exactly. Totally. That's exactly what it is.
Have you seen those? There's those like charts now on how to create like a band name in each genre, and it's got like a list of different like nouns and verbs, and you just take one of each and slap them together.
That's exactly what we did. I did not see the chart first, but that's how we did it. So
I'll send you the chart after after the call.
Yeah. If you got any questions on how to name your bands, kid, just look at the chart. There you go. Just refer to the chart. Always keep the chart in your pocket. Keep a snapshot of it on your phone. Never know when you're going to need to name a band.
Yep.
There's actually a really funny song from do you know the band Mountain Goats?
Yeah, I know Mountain Goats. They had that their popular song was from Moral Laurel on Adult Swim.
Yeah, no kids.
No children.
No children. That's it. Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
They actually have a really funny song about forming a death metal band and not knowing what to call it, and then breaking up because he couldn't decide on a name.
Yeah, that's totally right. Like Jesus. That hits close to home.
That's funny.
So, I mean, obviously you can only speak for yourself as part of the band, but you may know the answer for the other members as well. But what would you say are sort of the biggest influences on your sound? If you had to narrow it down to like maybe 3 bands.
Oh man, that's tough.
We can do 5 if that's easier. But,
no, you're cool. You're cool. So there's definitely some Slayer in there. I think there's I think the first 2 Death records are on there also. What is that? Leprosy's the second Death record, right? They Scream Bloody Gore first.
Second. Yep.
Yeah. So there's definitely the first, the early era of Death is on there also. And I don't talk about that much, but Death is the first 2 Death records are big influences on me. So there's some Creator in there. There's Death. You can at me for this. I really don't give a shit, or try to cancel me. I really don't give a shit either. I'm not like this person. I can kind of separate the art from the artist, even though this person is a fucking douchebag. But there is Burzum in some of that too. Varg's total sack of shit. But you can't deny that those first 2 Burzum records are that's kind of the quintessential sound of atmospheric black metal. And then let's see what else is in there. Cherenkov Light's got some Vector in it, and there's another example of separating the art from the artist. And let's see what else. I mean, we do get a lot of comparisons to early era Skeleton Witch, but I didn't like set out to sound like that or anything. It just happens to be like maybe we just write riffs really similarly. And then of course Toxic Holocaust and stuff. And it's funny, like when I started out, we put Midnight in there also, but I'm to the point now where I'm like, we don't sound like Midnight. Like, so I mean, there's an influence on there.
I can see a similarity, like in some influence from Midnight.
Yeah,
I love Midnight.
I do too. Oh, I absolutely love Midnight. Midnight's like my favorite modern band out there right now. just because it's 50% Motorhead and 50% Venom, and it's like you can that's two of my favorite bands, you know. So, and then I guess you can say there's a lot of Venom in there too, in our stuff.
Yeah,
if you're a black thrash band, there's a lot of
black and like thrash and roll, man.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of thrash and roll to us, and we get describe ourselves like that, like black and thrash and roll. So yeah, I'd say like Slayer, Creator, Venom, those early Death records. Other black metal wise, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I'm a big like I like Mayhem and Shooter a lot. I think there's more Shooter and like Panzerfaust era Dark Throne coming your way with our new stuff. So yeah, some of those bands. I know that's not like 3, but that's just like the first ones that always come to mind.
No,
it's interesting.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's interesting too. Like back to the Midnight thing. Like I always try to make this point of you can be influenced by a band, but maybe your riffs don't sound like that band's riffs do. But the feeling that's invoked when you listen to this band might give you the same feeling that's invoked when you listen to the band they say they're influenced by, even though their riffs aren't that similar. You know, so yeah.
There's a lot of ways to be influenced by someone. It's not all just about riffs. Like
I guess I just
like lyrical themes, like atmosphere, like you said, like the feeling atmosphere that it creates, and you have to obviously evoke vocal styles as well.
Totally. I just always my brain always gets pigeonholed into who are your biggest influences. Then I'm just like, well, I always go with who I go to for fans of immediately. Yeah. So, but yeah, a lot of those bands.
See, I like the for fans of thing, but I always try to avoid it in my reviews because I think it gives people a preconceived idea.
Right, it's gonna have
what's going to sound like, and then they're going to hear it and be like, "Oh, that's not what I expected it to be," and then it might taint their experience of the album. But at the same time, it is useful because it's like, well, if you like this, you're probably going to like it. Type thing. That's a double-edged sword in my opinion.
Yeah,
but,
the latter is definitely
for fans of.
Yeah. Same with genre classifications. It's like one of those double-edged swords. Like people get a preconceived idea in their head of what something's going to sound like when you say black and thrash. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you have to be able to classify it somehow so you can tell people who want to listen to it what to listen to.
You do, and that's I love that like you have to have these classifications in metal, and I love non-metalhead to like throw up that stupid fucking argument of it's like they make fun of the genres and stuff. Yeah, these are the same group of people who don't like metal because you can't tell what they're saying. But it's like, dude, if like somebody's like listening to metal and they're like, yeah, I'm a metalhead, and they just got into metal and they like new metal. There's nothing wrong with new metal. That's just how you like, whatever. But if somebody's like, fucking, I love
what you like.
Yeah, then I don't give a shit what you like. Like, I hope you like my band. but it's like, I love the first 3 Disturbed records. It's like, all right, dude, hell yeah, man, go check out Dying Fetus. That's metal too. You know what I mean? Like those differentiations and genres exist for that exact reason.
Yeah, you get people that complain about subgenre and microgenres and stuff. I'm like, dude, the more ways that I can like direct someone towards something they would like, the better.
Yeah.
It's like it's a useful tool. You don't have to rely on it to define your music, but it's like it's a useful tool for sure.
Totally agree, man. No arguments here.
I know the exact people you're making fun of because it's sad to say this, but there's a large portion of them are over 50, over 40, over 45. Like, when did there start to be so many genres? I remember when there was like metal, and then everyone listened to metal, and like, well, it's come a long way since like 1983. Like,
okay, boomer, then go hang out with your other boomer friends and talk about when there was just metal. I'm going to be over here in the present day,
listening to dissonant death metal, atmospheric blacks.
Depressive, suicidal black metal. It's fucking
Okay, so what about for you personally? Like coming up into metal, what got you into like alternative and extreme music? What bands sort of took you there?
Dude. So my uncle was a huge influence on me. He had, he was an 80s metalhead. He liked everything from like the harder stuff to just the kind of the glammy stuff. So I'd rate his CD collection as a kid. So when I was 8 when I got Ride the Lightning because I heard his copy of it and loved it. So I mean, so that, and then as I got older, I kind of got into hip hop a little bit, but my enjoyment of the faster stuff was always there. So I remember being like into the Offspring, Americana a lot when it came out. But there are some tracks on there that like it's kind of SoCal pop punk, but it's not that far removed from some thrashy stuff. Like there are some thrashy parts. There is some borderline D beat on that record. And then just I think once I got into high school, middle school, high school, I got, my drum set, and then I got a guitar. And then I think originally I got into Nirvana really big. And then I got into Metallica big time, and then started going through, all of whoever Metallica was influenced by. And then I heard Danzig, and I really, really got into Danzig. And then I became Danzig obsessed, and I'm still Danzig obsessed to this day. I'm sitting here wearing my Danzig zip-up hoodie.
Just to say one thing before you carry on. This is a really unusual trend, but we have no idea how to explain it. But I don't think we've maybe done like one episode in the last 2 years where someone hasn't mentioned Danzig.
Good.
It's like it's good. We always end up pivoting to Danzig.
Dude, I will turn this entire podcast into just a Danzig podcast. That man is I would consider to be one of the most important, if not the most important figure in extreme music, like ever, maybe. Just because of his history of like starting OG and DIY with the Misfits. And I mean, I don't know really shit about punk, so I can't compare what they were doing to other bands, but I know they had that, just that DIY touring ethos. And then how the dude all the way up to when he got signed, and Sam Hain got signed, and they changed it to Danzig, and then like he got a little bit of the attention of the mainstream, and then said fuck the mainstream, and just still continues to do the underground thing to this day. I love that man so much. I'm in
the same boat as you. I'm a huge Danzig fan. So
yeah. A colossal Danzig fan.
I'll always support him. I mean, like, he's a crotchety old man, but you have to respect. Totally. You have to respect what he's done.
Yeah, and someday I'm going to be a crotchety old man, and I can't fucking wait. But yeah. So got into Danzig really big and just obsessed. I didn't really get into extreme stuff too much until my buddy played me Behemoth's cover of Danzig's "Until You Call on the Dark." So that was the liaison. And then I started listening to Behemoth and little little samples here and there. And then finally just got warmed up to it to the point where like, clean vocals were not a thing anymore. It just all had to be down-tuned, alternate picking riffs with blast beats behind it. So, and that was pretty much it. That's pretty much from the beginning to end. Now here I am.
I think a lot of people forget how important Behemoth was for a lot of people. For me, that was one of the first death metal bands I got really into.
Yeah. I assume like Demigod?
It's Demigod? Yeah, it was Demigod era. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was the one they did for most people. Yeah. I saw them touring that record. I saw them in Chicago. I saw them at Sounds of the Underground.
Oh, no.
Who else was on there? Cannibal Corpse, Terror, Guar. But yeah, sick show.
I saw them in 2009. Trying to think which album came out then. It was right between the two.
That'd be like Apostasy or Evangelion or something like that.
Right after Apostasy and right before Evangelion. Okay. And they were touring with Goatwhore when they did their Carving Out the Eyes of God tour, which I love that album. One of my favorite albums.
Yeah, dude, that was a nasty tour, I bet.
Yeah, and there was with Job for a Cowboy So the weird thing about Job for a Cowboy is they finally became an amazing band and then broke up. Like their last album was... have you heard the last album by them?
Me? No, I've never really listened to Job for a Cowboy. It's like I've heard a little bit, but it never grew on me. Okay,
so everyone says that, but all those people listen to their first 3 or 4 albums and then wrote them off, which, I can see. They had like a deathcore thing going on. I never really was super into them at all until their final album, and then they made this like insanely complex, highly atmospheric, like just amazingly written progressive death metal album. And then just called it quits right after that. And I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like you finally got it. You finally got it right."
That's how to do it, man. You got to go out with a bang. Just fucking quit when you're on top. Don't leave room to fuck up.
If you haven't heard it, check that out. It's called Sun Eater. I do recommend it. And I think now that what's that?
Yeah, from 2014.
Yeah, I think that's the one.
Yeah.
And then I think they just announced they're coming back like 3 months ago or something, but they haven't done anything.
They toured I want to say 2019 with like Acacia Strain and some other bands like that at like the Palladium. I feel like around like I don't know. I feel like it might have been like October, November, like something like that. 2019. I don't know. I gotta look it up.
You saw that tour?
I was going to go, but then I was like, I have to work. I was working mad hours and going crazy and whatnot. But like, yeah, they played like 20 minutes from where I was working at that time.
Nice.
Yeah, I only live like about maybe like 40 minutes or like maybe might be an hour maybe to where they played Palladium. A bunch of like metal bands go through there, metal, deathcore, metalcore, all that stuff.
Yeah, it sounds familiar for some reason. Now isn't is John Rice the drummer from Job for a Cowboy?
Let me check.
Because I'm 99% sure he's like he filled in for Behemoth. So it's funny we talk about those two bands.
But they probably made that connection on that tour. They've probably known each other.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's how it works, dude. That's how the entire metal scene is so incestuous on small and big levels. It's ridiculous.
What was the name again? Sorry.
I think it's John Rice, Jon.
Oh, yeah. He's a former drummer, 2007 to 2013.
For Job or for Behemoth?
Yep, for Job. And then, let's see if he went. Yeah, he did Behemoth too. He was their live drummer.
There you go.
There you go. I learned something today.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time. I put way too much time on Metal Archives.
Dude, that's what I'm on right now. That's it's the site. It's like my go-to. It's like my Bible.
It's the best website. Yeah, like I'll tell my wife that. Sometimes I will just have like middle of the day amazing revelations that like what other genre of music has an online database that you can look up all this stuff about and like just nerd out about? Nothing. I swear to God. Well, if there is, I haven't found it. And to be honest, I haven't even looked for it. So it might be out there. But I know Metal Archives is out there and it rules.
It does. I don't always agree with the reviews, but the actual database side of it is like phenomenal. Like just for finding information and finding bands and who played with who, history, you know, all that stuff.
The reviews. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
I don't care what a bunch of armchair musicians have to say about this record. Taking shots at
it was cool to see us on there, James. That was neat.
Yeah, well, yeah, we ended up finally like two of our charity compilations we did. You guys were on the first one, actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thanks for being a part of that.
For sure.
Yeah, they ended up on archives and we're like, we've made it. Like,
yeah,
yes,
sweet.
Yes, isn't it great? Yeah. Did you guys put yourselves on there?
We don't. So we don't actually play. So I'm musically useless. I've tried a couple of things. I need to try again and not just give up on it. But my way to contribute to the music scene is the site, basically, and my PR stuff.
That's fine. But you didn't add yourselves to Metal Archives, is what I'm saying.
No. We
good.
We got a lot of the bands that were featured put it in their like compilation sections with like other albums and stuff. So it just ended up there.
Yep. Okay, cool. Because I was gonna say if you put yourselves on Metal Archives, that's cheating. I was supposed to do an interview with another.
Oh hell no!
Yeah, I was. I was supposed to do an interview with somebody else a while ago, and I started looking their stuff up. He's like, "Oh, I'm in this band and I do all this stuff," and I'm like, "All right, well, you got a Metal Archives page, which a lot of bands do." But then they had their own Wikipedia page too, and I immediately threw a red flag. I was like, "You guys added yourselves to Wikipedia. There's no way."
You're not actually supposed to add yourself. Like, isn't like Wikipedia? The rule is you can't add articles about yourself if you're a member of something.
I have never contributed to Wikipedia, so I can't say yes or no on that. But just the level that this band was at, I'm like, there's no one who wanted to take the time to add your entire story to Wikipedia. Right? Like, no offense, but just like
they just have like one super dedicated fan.
Yeah, somebody's mom.
We got added to Riffipedia, and that was kind of like a cool thing for us. We're like, oh, that's pretty sweet to be on that. That's the music version of Wikipedia for metal.
Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing.
You guys might be on there. Let's see.
We might be.
Wikipedia. Let's see if you're on there. You're not. But I think Riffipedia is primarily like a Stoner Doom thing. So we're on there because we cover a bunch of different stuff, including Stone and Doom. So it makes sense that you're not on there.
Yeah, totally.
Needs to be a black metal version of this, though.
We'll we'll get them next
doing
time.
Some cool covers,
I guess. Yeah.
So, as far as live music goes, because we were talking about gigs and stuff, what would you say like are some of your favorite shows you've been to? Like, who are some of the best performers you've caught live?
Some of the best shows I've seen live.
Hmm.
Let's think here. My first concert ever was Rush. So that was a
Nice.
great show. Yeah, my uncle, the same uncle who's the big metalhead who took me to like introduce me to all this stuff. I saw Rush with him as my first concert. That was just awesome as a memorable experience. Um, let's see, what were other shows? I know this isn't straightforward metal and stuff, but I
Hmm.
saw System of a Down on at Chicago Open Air. The actual Chicago Open Air sucked, but System of a Down fucking tore it up.
I love them, dude.
I did not expect them to play as well and as hard and as just like fast as they did.
Yeah.
That was an incredible show.
Hmm.
Of course, back to Danzig. I've seen him a few times, and he's never people always talk shit, but I mean, he's never put on a bad show as far as I've seen him. And I've seen him. I saw him one time when his collarbone was broken, so he was on stage. He was on stage with a sling, and he was super shitty that night. And there was some dude in the crowd who pulled out his flip phone to try to take photos. This was like before everybody had an iPhone in their pocket, and I will never forget Danzig like giving his microphone because he gave his mic cable extra slack because he doesn't use a wireless mic. And he gave his microphone cable extra slack, and then he lassoed this dude in the crowd, like first throw, like had the mic cable up in the air, throws it and nails this dude, and then still has enough room to grab his microphone. He's like, "Security, get that guy the fuck out of here!" I was like, "That's so cool."
I remember that when that happened, and because he's always had that anti-phone thing.
Yeah,
And then I remember he going to like a dude knocked him out at one of his gigs, right? Because he
yeah, that
confronted
was
him about the
different.
phone thing.
That wasn't about the phone thing.
Oh, it
That's the
wasn't?
I totally know what you're talking about. That's the Northside Kings incident. I know what you're talking about. That's not it. No,
Okay, I'm mixing two different events up.
you're cool. Yeah, I don't remember hearing anything about the phone thing that I was at. So if you did, that's pretty cool. But yeah, that was a trip. Man, I need to come up with a predefined list of great shows I've been to because I can't. Every time I get asked this question, I'm just like, oh man. Seeing Megadeth front row when I was like still in high school was pretty dope. We saw Gigantor like when it was like let's see, it was Megadeth and Lamb of God and Opeth and Arch Enemy and Overkill. I can't remember who else was on that bill, but that was a great show. Lamb of God was about to come out with Sacrament. That would put Megadeth around the United Abominations era, I think. That was a great show. So yeah.
That was like premium Lamb of God back then at that period.
Yeah.
That was like their
Yeah.
best.
That was like on the cusp of Ashes because Sacrament was about to come out. Like Randy Blythe had just shaved his head.
Right. Because
And
those first few albums are just incredible.
Yeah, totally. And then I saw Danzig in Chicago, and it was for the Legacy show, where they did a Misfits Danzig and Samhain set, and they did Mother of Mercy by Samhain, and Randy Blythe came out and did vocals with Samhain.
Nice.
So I saw that. And then I got this Danzig Black Aria long sleeve thermal shirt right when I saw him in Philly. This was the show, I'm pretty sure, where the cell phone lasso incident happened. And then in the Lamb of God documentary, Walk With Me in Hell, Randy Blythe is wearing the same fucking Danzig shirt that I've got. I'm just like, this is awesome. So yeah. Those are great shows.
Awesome. It's a tough question. Like
It's
it
so
does put
tough.
people on the spot because it's like you've been.
I know I'm forgetting something. I just feel like I know I'm forgetting something.
If you think of it, we'll come back to it. Just bring it up.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well, what about playing? Like, who are some of the best bands you played with? Like your favorite tour mates or like show mates?
Oh man, we've been playing some bangers lately just with people I didn't think we'd ever get the chance to play with. Our last gig we played with Bewitcher. So that was awesome. Those guys were really nice. Our buddies from up north in Indiana, Wraith, those guys are all really nice. They've been fun to play with. We've gigged with them a few times. Another local band I'll shout out is Obscene. They're all
Nice.
really awesome dudes and they rip their shit up. Once again, I'm really trying not to neglect anyone because we've really enjoyed all the bands we played with. But I'm trying to think specifically as Graveripper, who else we've done shit with. We jammed with Demiricus a few times. That was awesome, just to play with like a big Indianapolis institution like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's off the top of my head. Those are the bands I can really think of. Where that the Full Terror Assault we're doing in less than a month. Oh, I can't say anything about lineup days yet, so I can't say who all we're playing with. But they're announced technically, so I'll just say that gonna be doing 200 stab wounds and municipal waste. So that'll be pretty
Awesome.
Yeah, just yeah.
Dude, 200
So
stab wounds have been absolutely killing it in the last 12 months.
those dudes, wow, holy shit. Like,
Monsters.
yeah. I saw them with Obituary and Gruesome when they came through not too long ago. They were
Nice.
pretty dope. Yeah.
Yeah, they're headlining a tour with someone massive recently. Was it God, who was it they just toured with? Was it Sepultura or Soulfly? I think it was Soulfly.
Uh,
The national tour with Soulfly.
yeah, it must have been. Yeah, that makes sense because the Calvera brothers just came through doing the Sepultura reunion, the old school
Yeah.
Sepultura reunion, and Warbringer was the opener on that. I missed that
Nice.
show. I'm so mad. I'm so mad I missed that show. I don't
We
even remember why.
we caught that at Maryland Death Fest because they did
Yeah, we did.
the Cavalier Brothers show, and they did Rise and
Beneath the
Beneath.
Remains.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Beneath the
Beneath the
Remains.
Remains is so sick.
Yeah,
That
it's
was
a
my
killer
first that was my first Sepultura record, dude. But yeah, Beneath the Remains is mean.
because I was super nervous about like whether he could still pull it off because he's done Soulfly for so long. You know what I mean? I mean the Cavalier stuff is yes closer to like earlier Sepultura stuff, but he'd been in Soulfly for so long, I wasn't sure if he could still knock out that super aggressive early Sepultura stuff. But he killed it.
Yeah, it's like riding a
Yeah.
bike.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, not for some people. I've seen some people who've come back after a long break, and I'm like, oh, you should have stayed gone.
Yeah, should have put some training wheels on that bike. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. But yeah, that's bands we played with. Those are definitely some of the ones I can think of off the top of my head. So hopefully,
Awesome.
hopefully many more awesome ones to come.
Nothing but bright future ahead of you guys, that's for sure.
It's right, man. Future so bright, I gotta wear shades.
Do you
Exactly.
do you have a favorite city you've played?
So I guess Indianapolis, and that would also
Yeah.
be like the least favorite city we played because we've only played Indy a lot. So I guess like outside of Indy, we haven't done too much, which was why one of our main goals of this year was to get out of Indy.
Oh yeah.
So, which, we've got a few more shows coming up that we haven't, like at least 3 announced that are unannounced that are getting us out of Indy. As of today, they're not announced. They will be soon. But we played Newport, Kentucky. That was a lot of fun. We went and played with it was a 2-day fest we did down there in this old church that's been converted into a venue that's totally fucking badass. Shout out to
Nice.
Will and Transplant Productions if you're in like that Ohio, Kentucky area. Will's the man to talk to. He's the promoter there. Will's an awesome dude. Yeah, so yeah, I guess like we unfortunately, man, like I wish I could do a better job. Like I wish I had more of an answer to that, but we haven't ventured too far out of Indy yet. So
Oh yeah. Well, you're growing, man. That's awesome.
yeah. So ask me again at the end of the year, and I'll have a different
Fuck
answer
yeah.
for you.
Maybe we should. We'll
Do
do
it.
that.
Yeah, but we'll have you back on in about like 6 months' time and ask the same questions again and see what the answers are then.
I'm
Yeah.
for it, man. I'm for it. You never know.
Yeah, you'll probably hopefully have something lined up after, Faster Than the Fucking Devil.
Yeah, we definitely we'll definitely have some things coming around. So
Awesome. Looking forward to that.
absolutely.
Okay, so outside of music, yeah, do you have any other like passions, hobbies, or interests?
Yeah, I mean, I do enjoy anything like technology related. That's kind of what I do for like a living is work with tech.
Me too.
Oh, awesome.
But I'm
so-
on the marketing side of it, not the actual tech. I just I
Oh,
work for a
okay.
tech
Yeah.
company, but
Yeah, I like doing. I don't. Yeah, I do the tech. Yeah,
nice.
my hands are dirty on it. So just video games. I'm just a big kid. Is all I really am. So a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of when I'm not running Graveripper, trying to figure all that out. I play a lot of video games. I'd stream on Twitch. So things like that. Video games.
What games do you play
cooking. What's up?
What games are you streaming on Twitch?
So right now I'm kind of like slowly relaunching my channel. So I've been playing Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All. I don't know if you guys ever played those games or know what they are. I play weird games, dude.
I played Justice for All, but I haven't heard of the other one.
Oh, that's the one I'm playing. It's like Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. I think they're all called Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, right? Or is it just Phoenix Wright?
Actually, I think of a different game. I think I might be thinking of a completely different game. Let me just see.
I bet you are. Is it an anime point and click detective game?
Oh no.
Okay.
I think it's something completely different. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I was like, this isn't like I don't know if you have, man. Like I said, I kind of play weird underground games. I don't know if it's really underground, but like, yeah. So that's what I've been playing. And then before I was kind of doing like some. I was doing some speed running. My favorite game series of all time is Metal Gear Solid. I love all those games. So I speed run the PlayStation 1 Metal Gear Solid. I was doing that for a while and kind of got burnt out on it because it started to feel like work. So I've been kind of transitioning to other games and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I do have a record on speedrunning Metal Gear Solid. I'm on the leaderboards, so you can go out to the speedrunning leaderboards. Yeah, if you go to very easy on emulator, I think I'm like 7th place. And so I was trying to work my way through the other difficulties and not. I wanted to only submit my time in my run if I was in the top 10. So if there's like maybe on average maybe 20 people in each difficulty category per what system you're playing it on. And I just didn't want to I don't want to just get on the boards just to be on the boards. I want to be in the top 10. So I'm not going to submit a run until I get in the top 10. So I was really grinding at that, and it was just starting to eat up too much of my time, and it was starting to feel like work. I think, man, I was so close on easy. I think I missed top 10 by 7 seconds. So if I beat the game 7 seconds faster, yeah, I know. So, but
that's rough.
I know, right? So it's like, fuck. But no, so I do a lot of that, and then I'm gonna get back into for a while there, I was always streaming with games that fit a category or a theme. So when winter came around, I played this old game called Penguin Adventure because it takes place in Antarctica and it's snowing because it's winter. What else did I play? I played Metal Gear Solid just because it takes place in a snowstorm. I played The Thing, the old PS2, Xbox.
I had that game. I love that game, dude.
Yeah, man, it's dope. Played that. And then before, I can't remember what my theme was before that, but just things like that. I'm starting to work on the Halloween theme this year. The October one, we'll be playing a bunch of horror games. I've always wanted to go through and play the old Splatterhouse beat 'em ups. Probably be playing those. I'd eventually, maybe sometime next year, start my own game development company and just start making smaller games and working my way up. So, yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, play a little bit of everything. I just put 2 more emulators on my phone. So I've been playing the Metal Gear Solid Game Boy Color on my phone, and then I got a DS emulator, and I've been playing Pokemon Soul Silver on my phone. So it's been pretty dope.
Nice.
Yeah. So a lot of video games and video games, heavy metal, man. That's pretty much it.
The two great hobbies.
Yeah, pretty much. Don't get out of the house much.
What about movie and TV? What are you into in that area?
So I don't watch too much TV. I watch more YouTube than I watch TV.
Okay.
Except for there are a few shows that capture my attention, and when they do, they really grab my heart, and I'm all about them. The last series that did that for me TV wise was Twin Peaks. Man, my wife and I went through a big David Lynch kick. We're both huge Lynchian fans now. A lot of the I guess what you consider the standard metalhead repertoire of movies and TV and stuff. A lot of the John Carpenter movies. I like horror movies. I love the Halloween franchise. Yeah, just stuff like that. Back to the Future, that whole trilogy. I love all those movies. Nice. Ghostbusters, Terminator. I just watched Terminator 2 the other night. God, I love that movie so much. So yeah, stuff like that. The OG Star Wars trilogy. Those are the movies I love. Star Wars, Ghostbusters, Terminator. stuff like that. TV, yeah, Twin Peaks we got into. I'm trying to think of what else we watched TV wise. Parks and Rec, Parks and Rec's hilarious.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But yeah, usually I just watch YouTube, just either video game or software, metal or comedy on YouTube. So
Okay. I don't think we've had a single person on the show that doesn't like horror. At any point, it seems to just be like everyone who likes metal basically likes horror.
yeah, I think like we're kind of they go hand in hand.
They do.
It's like chocolate and peanut butter. It's just a match made in heaven.
Oh,
So, yeah.
Same with like the other some everyone likes like anything Tolkien, like anything like high fantasy. That's also a really common trend we've seen. It's like horror and fantasy are like the two super
Yeah.
popular ones.
Nerds.
Yeah, exactly.
Nerd alert.
Yeah, as I'm over here talking about starting a video game development company. Yeah.
Well, that's always a funny thing we like that we bring up is like there's a whole perception of metalheads being like these big tough like muscle head dudes, and so many metal dudes are just the biggest nerds.
Oh,
Like,
dude, yeah. Oh, and do you ever wonder like there has to be metal has that nerddom to it though.
yeah, for sure.
It has that like these dudes can like take Tolkien for example or whatever. I mean, this is probably a bad example because I don't know shit about Tolkien or whatever, but like there's that certain interest in deep diving into this fantasy and like I mean it's all what nonfiction or no, it's fiction. I always get those two backwards.
Fiction.
Yeah, I always get those two backwards in my head. I swap those around all the time. Probably get me into trouble. But there I think there's that certain diving into that we also get from like metal archives. From going out there and learning and reading and just like there's so much to it. You get captivated by it. And so
It's the lore, like the lore, like
Yeah.
It's
yes,
rich.
it's lore, dude. Perfect. Yeah, that's such a good way to describe it. Nailed it, dude. So
Yeah, I mean, metal has like a super deep, like really intricate history of lore that everyone. I
Yeah.
mean, most of the heavy fans, like they know that stuff.
yeah, and I don't know if other genres have that. Going back to that too, but maybe it's because I don't know as much about other genres as I do metal. But I just feel like I don't know. I feel like metal's different.
I think some, I would say to a certain extent, the other ones that off my top of my head that have that sort of history and stuff is there's definitely in hip hop. There's that like the foundational, those heavy hitters from the back in the day that everyone respects and how they built the genre up.
Yep.
And then I guess punk as well has that sort of like rich history of all those legendary dudes, like absolute characters that built the scene type thing.
Yeah, I wonder if country has that too, like classic traditional country,
like outlaw
western.
country. Like I guess you get like Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson,
Waylon Jennings.
Waylon Jennings. Yeah, there's those dudes like the legends from back in the day. But the thing is, like, I don't know if the average country fan is as into that history as the average metal fan is with that stuff. But
see, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a great point there too. So, but yeah, totally. So yeah, that nerd, that lore and love for that stuff definitely exists in metal and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, yeah. I'm an obsessed with Tolkien, one of those dudes, unfortunately. So,
hey man, you do you. Like what you like.
Yep, definitely. Brendan, did you have any other topics you want to cover? Because we're cracking on to the hour mark now.
Well, we honestly hit on some of the questions I was already going to ask naturally, which was pretty sweet. And then the other, I got, where is the best place to get a Hoosier sandwich?
The best place to get a Hoosier sandwich? Well, a Hoosier sandwich is a breaded tenderloin.
Yes.
The best place to get one would be like maybe like a kind of drive-in, like small mom and pop shop. That'd be the best place to get one.
Actually, that made me think of another question. We've asked one or two people this, but I always like to know what's like a regional or at least state-based like fast food chain that people should try. Or that well, it doesn't have to be fast food. Actually, just a food chain people should try if they're ever in Indiana or in the Midwest?
I think we have dude, Culvers. I don't think anybody else. I think Culvers is only a Midwest thing.
I haven't heard of it, so
Okay.
it's definitely not
Me
West
neither.
Coast.
Okay, so like Culver / Dairy Queen. I mean, they're different, like, but they're competitors of each other. Culver's
right.
fucking slaps, dude. So it's burgers, right? It's just American, like, just American food. So burgers, chicken sandwiches, fries, milkshakes and stuff, your traditional thing like that. But all the quality of everything is so good, and it's always so organized there, and it's fast and it's delicious, and I love Culver's. So I would say to check out Culver's.
The way you're talking about that is the way that Californians talk about In-N-Out.
Okay, see, that's
Yeah.
that's the thing. And that's like I've seen Culver's get brought up in the whole In-N-Out Shake Shack discussion, and they're like, everybody's always arguing about these two, but nobody wants to stop and talk about how Culver's destroys both of them.
Oh,
I know. But
I can accept that. I'm a transplant to the US, obviously, because the accent gives that away. But so I've never completely understood I might get canceled for saying this, but the Californian obsession with In-N-Out. I think it's pretty good, but I don't. The people would die for it here, like that, go to war over In-N-Out.
I'm very anxious to try it because I got to get myself a double with fries, animal style. I think
Yep.
Yes.
is that the lingo? I've
That's
got it
it.
down.
Yep.
I've been practicing
You
in the
nailed
mirror
it.
every day.
I've ordered it.
Dude, I'm such a fat kid. I love food, so like I will always eat. I have to get that while I'm out there. At least
There's
the animal style fries.
There's actually a secret menu as well that you can customize and add to your burgers that isn't listed anywhere. So you have to look it up before you come to California and see what you can add, and then you can you can add like peppers and stuff and like pickles and a whole lot of other stuff that's not on there to your burgers.
Sweet. Well, I know where I'm eating when I head out west.
If you're ever in San Diego, there's a place that you absolutely have to hit. It's like, I think there's two of them. They're like, this is like kind of, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a bar / burger joint, but it's like super in your face. Like, this is what we do. If you don't like it, go somewhere else type thing.
Love it.
And their menu says we politely refuse any substitutions or alterations to our menu.
Hell yeah.
And then they've got like 5 things, and they make these like, they call like a dirty flat top smash burger. It doesn't look super good, but it's like literally the best friggin' cheeseburger you'll have in your life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's called the Friendly. So if you're ever in San Diego, hit the Friendly.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like it's cheap as shit too. You get the burger for like $5 or $6, and then beers are like $4. Like, it's one of those places. Yeah,
dude, I love it.
Great.
I love places also that do no substitutions.
Yeah.
Like, no, leave. The customer is not always right.
Yep.
Not trying to exclude anybody that maybe has like a food allergy, but that's just not what we do here.
There's like, I just don't like mayonnaise. So you're like, fuck off.
Then
Like,
then go somewhere else.
Comes.
Well, I just don't like you, so you can leave. So, like, oh great, I lost one customer today. I'm sure these other 2,000 that are coming through the door aren't going to be able to make the difference. See you next time. Tell everybody I suck. Tell them you hate me. Tell them that he said that I can't have mayonnaise, that I don't like mayonnaise, and then he said that he doesn't like me, and I got on Yelp, and I got on Google reviews, and blah, blah, blah. I love it. Sorry,
I fully agree. The thing people don't appreciate about those places is because they don't do substitutions, because the menu's simple, they just nail it, and they knock it out in like super fast time. Yeah.
Well, right, yeah. They just want to bang out these little like eat tapas or whatever, like small plates or just like their standard stuff, and just like boom, here it is.
Totally.
Brendan used to be a chef, by the way.
Oh, nice. I did also.
Yeah,
so nice, dude. It's also a thing too where it's like sometimes. Now I understand if like you just want a burger, no onions. Like with this point, this point I'm about to make. The point I'm about to make is we have our food and we think we nail it. We're really happy with this product. Now we're not going to go about changing it because we believe in the entire thing right here is great, which is why some super fancy places won't give you salt and pepper at the table. Like, no, we trust that we're going to give you the right amount of salt and pepper so you'll experience this the way we want to experience it. Now, that's maybe at a fancier place, not a place where I'm just going to get a fucking cheeseburger at 2 a.m. while I'm smashed. You know,
I've worked at both kinds of places.
Yeah. Wow, totally just lost my train of thought though. Good example is like Guinness. I don't think Guinness does a vegan version of their beer because they're like, if we did, like, there's something in the recipe. I want to say it's this weird thing about
oysters,
like, fish. Yeah, or like fish liver or something that they use to filtrate to filter the beer to give it the consistency it has. And they're like, we can't find any. We tried all these combinations of other chemicals or whatever, and we can't find the right combination of vegan ingredients to give you what we think would be a beer that meets our standards. So we're just not going to do it. And I like that. I respect that, so.
No, I agree. Do you follow the comedian Bill Burr at all?
Oh yeah, totally. Love Bill Burr.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that one that he did as a special like a few years back when he was talking about fast food bowing down to people who want healthy food?
Oh God, I feel like I do, but I don't remember exactly.
And he got like so angry about it, and he's like, McDonald's, like, is this ranting about like McDonald's adding salads and how angry it makes him? It's like, don't go to McDonald's. If you want healthy food, don't go to McDonald's. You can go like 50 other places. It's like they shouldn't have given in to them. It's like, and then after they gave in to them, the stoners joined in. They're like, I don't want to get up by 10 a.m. for breakfast. And then McDonald's said, we'll do breakfast all day.
And that's what I was going to say too. Is like, okay, so I have my restaurant has a hard no substitutions rule. Well, when the first person comes in and gets no onions and then we give them no onions, well, now there's a crack in the dam. All right, guys, when does it stop?
All hell breaks loose.
Yep. All hell's breaking loose. People are coming in wanting to see if we can substitute their burger for a pizza. It just won't stop.
Yep. They're like, listen, I'm not getting this. I'm not getting it. I want to order the New York strip, but I really want all this size with it, but then could you really just give me fucking some kohlrabi? Like,
it's like, well,
it's like, okay, if you have an allergy, I get it, that's fine. Like, if you have an allergy, understandable, completely reasonable.
It's different.
If you just say I don't like onion, then take it off. Like, you don't have to like make the burger specifically onion. You're an adult, just slide it off the burger.
But that's not good enough for some people. I've worked in restaurants where people would flip out if you sent them their burger, or whatever. Excuse me, with the pickle on the plate. They're like, I didn't want, like the pickle's on the plate. Yeah, and they freak out. It's like, look, you have such a limited amount of time on this earth. Is this really what you want to spend?
This is the hill I will die on. Like,
are you really going to die on pickle fucking hill? All right, Pickle Rick, like, go for it, dude. Like, whatever.
I'm looking at pictures of Culvers right now, by the way. It looks pretty friggin' good.
Dude, it's not bad.
I want to try that.
Not bad. You can't go wrong with just like a straight up burger and fries. Maybe I'll give you a whole order when you're out here. I'll hook you up.
Hell yeah, man. Way to do it.
I found a map of their locations. So they are a Midwest thing, it looks like. But they are down in Florida. And what state is that? I believe that man, I'm terrible at like US state maps. It's the one right next to Colorado on the left-hand side of Colorado. It's
shit. Yeah, nobody knows that area. Nevada?
It's Utah, right?
Sure.
So Utah. Let's say Utah. Yeah, they got one in Utah.
There's lots of gold.
I should know that because I've been there like twice. And I was legally married in Utah
really?
Because of a really weird COVID situation where my wife and I had to get married on a couch remotely from some person in Utah via Zoom for my visa. Yeah, it was bizarre. It was like I got to the US. I made the decision of moving to the US as COVID started, which was like the worst decision in history. But I couldn't have predicted that was going to happen.
No, you didn't know. That's what I was going to say.
But I got there, and you have like, what is it? It's like a month or something to get married after you arrive there for the visa I was on, basically. Because I applied for like a fiance visa, which is, yes, it is the one from the show, 90 Day Fiance. It's 90 days.
Oh, really?
Yep. So I wasn't on the show or anything, but I did go through that visa program. I did apply for the show.
Did you really? Oh my God, man!
Because they pay for your wedding if you get selected, which is sweet. But But I got there and you had 90 days and everything in the US basically shut down and all the courthouses were shut. And I was like, what am I going to do? They're going to deport me. And so there's this program for deployed military personnel that lets them get married via Zoom, basically through this company.
Mhm.
So I just inquired, I'm like, I'm not in the military. Can I use this? They're like, yeah, sure, why not? So went through that and got married on my in-laws' couch by a marriage representative. What's it? What's their name? But the person was in Utah, just outside Salt Lake City. So that's where I'm legally married.
All right, man. So are
Nice.
you a Mormon now? Did they have to convert you to be a
They
Mormon?
did.
Did they really? Nice,
No,
man. You show up. You guys show up to that fest out there in California, and you're in your Mormon gear. I'm like, oh my god.
I just convert to Mormonism, become blonde. I don't know what. Sorry if we offended any listeners who are Mormon, but there's a weird trend I've met of like
Got it.
80% of the Mormons I've met are blonde. I don't
Really?
know what that's about, but yeah.
I feel like my mental image of a Mormon is like not blonde.
Because
Oh,
Why?
do you know Jim Gaffigan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually seeing him on Sunday, hopefully, so that would be sweet. Because I love the dude, but he always talks about how he gets called Mormon. He's like, I don't know what it means, but I look Mormon apparently. He's like, it might be how many kids I have, but it might be my appearance.
Yeah.
'Cause he has like 6 kids or something, I think.
Good lord. Yeah, I don't know. I think I don't know. I picture like a dude with black hair or brown hair. I'd like a dark haired dude. Like, I don't know why. That's what I picture.
I
You guys, yeah, we call it. Did you guys catch Book of Mormon?
yes, man. I saw it at in New York at Broadway. It was fantastic.
Oh wow, awesome! You saw it at the Mecca.
I did. I was
Yeah.
in town and I happened to be there at the same time, so I was like, I'm 100% seeing this.
Yeah,
Did you-
that's awesome.
Do you ever watch Orgasmo?
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Orgasmo like is up there with like my favorite movies too. I've seen Orgasmo so
Oh,
many damn
so
times.
good.
All the old
It's
Matt and Trey
so good.
stuff. Yeah, have you seen Cannibal the Musical?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Dude, I
cool.
love. I
You guys
could
are real.
quote
I
that
love
movie all
this.
night.
Yeah, man. Orgasmo is fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basketball as well.
Baseball's great. They didn't write that one. I don't think they wrote and directed that one though.
Oh, they just started in that one?
Which is so weird. Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know
Because
that.
it
good.
seems like their style, doesn't it?
It
seems
did. Yeah.
100%
I just assumed it was them.
I
Okay.
know, but I don't think it is. I'll double check. But
And Team America obviously is like
yeah, Team America's them. Yeah. But yeah, those first few when they weren't known as
Yeah.
well. And Orgasmo, those are all great.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I love Cannibal too. Oh man, like the sky is blue.
Yeah.
And all of these are green.
Hearts is filled as a baked potato.
potato.
Yeah, totally. I've drank
I
many a
think you
beer,
know
ripped many a bong to
precisely
that
what I
movie.
Dude, it's so funny.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Those
All
are
right,
classic.
we're actually coming up to the end of our time. So
Ooh.
just before we do wrap up, did you have anything you wanted to, bring out and put up there? Like anything people should check out or be excited for or be ready for?
Yeah, absolutely, man. So if you guys haven't checked out Graveripper yet, you can find us on Bandcamp. We just put in a new merchandise order, so if you dig our stuff, we will have new shirts coming out very soon. We have 2 or 3 shirt designs that we're going to be rolling out before the end of the year.
Hell
We
yeah.
have a new split coming out with 3 brand new songs on it, September 2nd. The split's called Faster Than the Fucking Devil. It's a banger between us and a lot of our good friends. Unholy Night from Russia's on there, Black Knight from Kentucky, and Wraith, they're also from Indiana. It's a 4-way split between those bands, so you're essentially getting a full-length record worth of new material from all those bands combined, We're doing Full Terror Assault this year. It's the second week of September in Southern Illinois. It's a 3-day metal festival, Municipal Waste, Suicidal Tendencies, Putrid Pile, 200 Stab Wounds, all going to be playing. We'll be playing that. And then we've got a few more shows around then also that we haven't announced yet. And then we will be out, if you're in California, we will be playing California right before Thanksgiving. So yeah, those shows are coming up, split coming out, and then we're just going to put our heads down and bust the full length out. So a lot to
Hell
look
yeah.
forward to. Yeah.
Is that going to be coming out through Wise Blood or is that undecided at this point?
As of right now, probably Wise Blood, but I
Okay.
feel like the answer probably Wise Blood goes under the category undecided. So
Okay. Yeah,
both.
cool. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It was great chatting to you. Sorry if we riled you up too much with the food substitution.
Oh yeah,
talk.
dude, I'm not even hungry now. I'm mad. I'm cool. You guys are awesome.
You too, man. And for everyone listening, thanks for listening. And we'll have another show next week coming up after this. Next guest is going to be Black Knife, who actually is on that same split we just mentioned.
Woo!
So
Yeah.
tune in for that one.